Well, it's time for Just One Thing here on Bring It Home, where we talk about just one thing that caught our attention in research this week. I'm here with our operations officer, Alyssa Stevens, from the Integrative Center for Homeland Security. Alyssa, you look through lots of things every week, lots of sources. Tell me just one thing that caught your attention this week, would you?
Well, the most interesting thing I read this week was the National Drug Threat Assessment for 2009. This is a report put out by the Department of Justice every year, and they compile their data and their findings for the past year on drug trade, drug violence, etc. And they put it together in this report to cite what they believe are the biggest threats to our nation.
Well, I know statistics and columns and numbers can be boring and dry. What did you think about this report?
Well, this actually had some very interesting statistics. For one, more than 35 million individuals in the year 2007 alone either used illicit drugs and or abused prescription drugs.
35 million people is more than a tenth of the country. Now that's a wide range between cocaine addicts and people who have misused diet drugs, but collect them all together, about 10% of the country. What other statistics got your attention? How about money?
Another big one was the money. Actually, Mexican and Colombian drug trafficking organizations, and these are just two of the countries and drug trafficking organizations involved here in the drug trade. They generated, removed, and laundered between $18 and $39 billion in the past year.
Huge amount of money. Now, also a huge gap in numbers, somewhere between 18 and twice that much, $40 billion.
Right.
Is it because it's really hard to get a handle on this?
Definitely. It's the drug trade.
They use the term DTO a lot in this report. What does that mean? What does that stand for?
Well, DTOs are drug trafficking organizations, and basically there are many countries involved here in the drug trade. Everything from smuggling to setting up to making contacts, distribution, laundering money. And these organizations are highly effective, highly organized criminal,
very integrated enterprises. So this is not one or two or a few smugglers here or there, or even what we see on television, you know, a small town. These are big organizations.
Yes, definitely.
And source of the drugs primarily was from where?
The source of the drugs primarily was, well, it depended on the drugs. Mexico typically was our biggest threat. They were overall the biggest threat to here. They brought in the most drugs, especially marijuana. However, the Asian drug trafficking organizations are bigger when it comes to methamphetamines, MDMA, etc.
I might mention that we're the biggest threat to Mexico as well, because we're moving guns down south that are enabling their criminals to spike the amount of violence. Well, where would we find this report real quick? About 30 seconds left.
This report is from the U.S. Department of Justice, but you can find it on our website, which is homelandsecurity.tamu.edu.
You can use our research source there, TEX, in order to find this document and thousands of others. Hope you'll do that. Hope you learned just one thing here on Bring It Home.